Hey, John here, DVWhat in the forums, and welcome to episode 9 of Meet the Sports Racers, an opportunity to get to know the folks who populate the forums over at zafrank.com just a little bit better. This episode is the first of a two-part interview with one of the more active and prolific members of the sports racer community, and I'm sure that many of you have interacted with him in the forums, and so I'm excited for you to meet him face-to-face, as it were, through this miracle of Skype video chat. If you missed any of the previous episodes of this series, you can check out this YouTube playlist going all the way back to episode 1 and playing back in sequential order. If you're viewing on a mobile device or with a YouTube viewer that doesn't support embedded links, you can find the link in the video description, along with any relevant information about this project. So read up, jump on board, and hopefully we'll see you around in the forums. As always, thanks so much for watching. Now let's go. Hi, John here, DVWhat in the forums, and I'm very pleased to welcome you to another edition of Meet the Sports Racers interview videos. And I'm here today with someone that I know that many of you in the forums are very familiar with. I'm here with John Willem, and he is better known to our sports racer community as Pseudos. And Pseudos, I'm very, very happy to have you join us today. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Yeah, thank you.
Very good. You've had a chance to check out some of the earlier episodes of this series, so you kind of know what's in store for you, yeah?
Kind of, yeah.
Well, we'll try to make it as informal and comfortable as possible. You mentioned in another thread when you were getting some folks on board for some video stuff that getting in front of a camera suddenly made you feel self-conscious about how you were on camera.
Yeah, exactly.
And yet at the same time, you've also been very prolific lately with some great videos that you're putting online of you and your friends doing some great longboarding antics.
Thank you.
How long have you been involved in that as basically as a sport?
As a sport, well, I needed something to travel to work with, and I really liked longboard, so I started saving money and that. So basically 4 months ago I started to do longboarding to my job and back, and yeah, from that I started to want something more with it, so doing tricks and stuff and making videos, and it's really fun.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of fun. I have to say, it's watching a lot of the videos. I just like, wow, you know, it's great to see what you guys are doing, but I also, how would I say, I'm a little jealous that I'm not out there doing it myself, and you know, so it's good stuff. Keep it up because it's a lot of fun to watch. And your editing is also very entertaining too. The music is great, and you're doing a great job with that. So work. What do you do?
Well, I'm an architect, designing houses and buildings, and mainly floating buildings at this moment. So
what does that mean?
Building on water.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if it was some kind of design where they have certain overhangs, but yeah, floating. Literally, they're floating.
Yeah, really. Yeah, literally, yeah.
Now, does that bring to it some kind of a special challenge in terms of creating a house that's designed to be on water?
Yeah, it has a lot of challenges because the weight of the building is always shifting, so you have to make sure that the platform you build on is equally divided with weight. So if you have a really heavy kitchen, you have to spread it a bit. So that's the issues. Right.
Okay. All right. Keep balance on the water. Now, has that been your career ambition to be involved in architecture?
Yeah. Basically through my whole life.
Oh, your whole life. Okay.
Well, mostly when I was young, I wanted to be how do you call it in English? A pastry baker, making all these crafty stuff.
Yep.
So as I grew up, I learned that I could do more than that. So I started to apply for building sciences and architecture. And I recently finished the University of Architecture. So
congratulations.
Thank you.
You've also shown a couple of shots in the forums of your workspace. You guys are awfully busy.
Yeah, quite busy. Well, I do work 4 days a week, so I've got 1 day to spend and do some crazy stuff, whatever I like longboarding or staying at the forum and enjoy myself.
Well, at the forum now, I got to tell you, whatever time you do spend there, you really make very good use of it because you're very active in the forums, not just involved in a lot of threads, a lot of responses, a lot of help, and a lot of creativity that you're showing off too. Tell me a little bit about how you happened upon it. How did you become a sports racer?
Ooh, well, that takes me back to the time I got really excited about Pt.1. You know it, with all those talks and stuff. And one of those talks was, of course, Zay Frank. So he was like some sort of comedian, and I was really into it because he also has like the brains to become like really funny and smart at the same time. So especially when he started to show his project for the Michelle song, I was like, this is awesome. I want more of this.
So he found it to be not just entertaining, but also informative and maybe kind of something that spoke to your desire to be involved in something that also channeled some of your creativity, some of your interest in interacting with others as well.
Yeah, well, it's like a combination of all those things, because I think like intelligence and being funny and being creative is like part of life. You need to evolve that to get where you want to be when you grow up. So right. Creativity, and especially with other people, is like really important.
When you drop into the forums, you're all over the place with a very recognizable presence. And what's the word? A lot of variation. And people recognize that. So as a result, they love interacting with you because they learn from what you have to offer. Or they're sometimes also inspired by some of the things that you're doing. And I think I kind of got that a little bit when I put out the submission for questions that were offered for the interview. Some good questions that I think are going to be kind of fun to explore. And if you're comfortable with that, are you ready to go ahead and jump into that?
Sure, no problem.
Okay, the first one comes from Jekka, who asks you to try to describe your experience with Zay Frank, the League of Awesomeness, the show, or sports racers in general, in only one sentence.
Only one sentence. All right, let me try this.
Okay.
Well, basically I see this whole thing, like the forum, the show, and everything is like together. It's one. So it's like an online playground where, yeah, you can find people who are just awesome and inspiring. So that's basically what I like so much about it.
It's this integrated nut that people get to basically crack open and explore. I was on a previous interview that hasn't yet posted. That was one of the things that had kind of come up, is that there's all these different, maybe due to the explosion of social media, that there's all these outlets, that there's all these varied forms of access that people can find Zay Frank or access some of the content, such as YouTube and other places like that have their own variations, their own different forms of subscription, and that maybe a lot of people find him in those areas, but they don't actually ever go to the forums. And they're kind of missing out. Because they're not really taking part of all the things that are being referred to, perhaps in the videos, where he makes a lot of call-outs to things that are just going on in the forums. And a lot of people that would probably they just miss out on that completely because they're not there or really on board.
And it's like for all kinds of people, those who want to be lurkers, they just watch it and see how other people interact. So you don't necessarily have to be involved, but it's more fun. Have
you kind of gotten a sense that, when you mention lurkers, that there's a lot of people who mention that they've been around for a while, they're just kind of seeing what's been going on, and that they're very nervous about making their first post, as if they're not sure that they'll be accepted. Have you seen quite a lot of that?
Yeah, I think it's because everybody is so awesome. They just think they can't compete with that awesomeness.
But that's what you're consistent with. You keep telling them, "Hey, just jump on in. We've all been like that. Go ahead and just jump on in and get involved," and that's how it happens.
Yeah, basically every good thing starts with one idea, and it can be like a really small idea, and then it can grow through the community. So yeah, everyone should just do it.
Well said.